It's streaming now, yep.
I'm going to turn this just a bit.
Sure. I just checked it. And Ryan tested from home. So, I think he texted you too. Yeah.
If anybody would like a mask, there are masks up here. So if you'd like to stand up, also, if you put all your cell phones on vibrate for silent, we appreciate that as well.
All right, guys, listen. 6 o'clock, we're going to start our meeting tonight. I just want to thank everybody for showing up. And we are a little excited. We have some stuff early on. We have some stuff to read off. But if you guys can all join us, we're going to get everything going, okay?
Committeeman Aldo.
Here.
Committeeman Martinez.
Here.
Committeeman Roberts. Here. Deputy Mayor Raffray. Here. Mayor Dupuy.
Here. Everybody, please join us with the pledge to the flag and a moment of silence as we remember everybody as we go through these tough times. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we have a, first thing up here, announcement of compliance with the Senator Byron M. Bear Open Public Meetings Act. Consideration of possible actions of any request for electronic participation. We have none. I do believe we are streaming this.
Yep.
Through YouTube. Okay. So, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? Okay, we're ready to roll. Approval of minutes.
Regular meeting on July 15th, 2021, closed session minutes of July 15th, 2021.
Motion to approve the minutes.
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? Okay. Proclamations, awards. So tonight's unique. 2 weeks ago, we had the pleasure of seeing our cadets, our junior cadets, do a nice week with our police force over at the high school as graduation to an academy that they put forth for these kids. And myself and the rest of the township committee felt obligated and honored to extend to you guys a proclamation for what you did. So that's the point of us having you guys here today. So if we could have them come in, dude, thank you. Welcome to Pennsauken Municipal Building here at our township committee meeting. It's with great honor that we took this time out to honor you guys for what you've done. To go through this program to join forces with our police force is incredible. To show our young kids what it takes to serve and protect our community is pivotal for us and for you guys. We're excited to have you guys here. So first and foremost, welcome. I'm going to read off a few names here just so everybody knows who we're talking about before I read off our proclamations. But I'm going to read one proclamation, and it's going to be for each one of you individually. You're going to receive your own as well. Same words that I said, okay? But before we get going, I want to thank the Pennsauken Police Force for putting this program together. We have our Chief Oliver right here. Chief, if you can stand up. Under the Chief's guidance, this program existed. Can we have a round of applause for our Chief? Thank you, Chief. And we have our instructors that help these kids. Officer Charles Brewer, Officer Robert Carey, Officer Michael DiCamillo, Officer William Hertline, Officer Ryan Madden, Officer Lexus Matos, Officer Liz Perez. Let's have a round of applause. I'm going to read the proclamation for the police officers right now. So these police officers, you know, they do this job because they love to serve and protect. But what they did with you guys is they wanted to show you what they do every day. They want you to understand what it takes to be a police officer, to take the ultimate risk for the safety of our community. That's why we're reading the proclamation for these officers. I'm going to start now. In recognition of the Pennsauken Police for coordinating and instructing the Pennsauken Police Junior Academy 2021. Whereas the Pennsauken Police Department hosted the annual Junior Police Academy Camp in July 2021 for the kids between the ages of 10 and 13. This camp has quickly become a tradition and provided a hands-on opportunity for our youth to learn the various aspects of being a police officer. We thank each of the instructors who took the time to develop and implement the various activities that the camp provides. And whereas the instructors work to import an accurate and realistic experience for the cadets. The kids participated in the mechanics of equipment and fire safety, CSI and training exercises, proper police protocol, canine demonstrations, and character building practices. Designated the various aspects in order to capture an authentic snapshot of what is involved in the daily operations of a police officer is an imposing task. Keeping the attention of the interests of the young kids can often be a challenge, but the officers who took the time to participate in the Shark This Camp exceeded all expectations. The children had a versatile, engaging, and interactive experience that likely made a lifelong impression, and many influenced them to pursue a career in law enforcement someday. Now, therefore, I, Marco D. Batista, Mayor of Pennsauken, along with the members of the Township Committee, hereby commend each officer that assisted with the 2021 Pennsauken Junior Police Academy for their time, dedication, and effort. You provided an invaluable experience for our youth and offered a unique opportunity to demonstrate the skills that each of you use every day. Thank you for your commitment to our children and help keeping Pennsauken safe every day. Guys. You know, we get a lot of messages about what's going on with the police force, so we get to see all the stuff that these men and women do to help our community. And I can't thank you guys, and we can't thank you guys enough for the work that you do. One more round of applause. Now, you guys were lucky to spend some time with those guys, but let's be real, those guys were lucky to spend some time with you guys, right? Yeah. So they get more out of this than you'll ever imagine. We got to thank the parents for signing their kids up and bringing them out to something like this. It means a lot to have you guys taking up to do that for us. So a round of applause to the parents. I'm going to read off these names. If I say somebody's name wrong, in your rules, you're not allowed to read it. All right? I'm going to apologize right now. We have Aiden Alves, Ayana Basin, Antonio Basin, Joshua Bettis, Joshua Carey, Lexi Carey, Alina Prescilla, Christina Crespo, Joshua Crespo, Kahini Davis, Danielle Edwards, Simone Arrigo, Sebastian Fonseca, Jackson Fontano, Josh Hernandez, Isabel Hertline, Alanis James, Vincent Martinez Jr., and Angelica Mercado, Paula Mercado, Sophia Mercado, Easton Mesa, Jack Olivia, Oliver, Brandon Patty, Johnny Perez Jr., Sincere Portabanco, Eli Rivera, Nathaniel Rosario, Brian Terry, Samantha Terry, Olivia Torres, and Samuel Torres. I hope you guys are inspired by your experience. We hope if you're young enough, you can come back again. If you can't come back again, you'll be able to take one day in the future. Maybe this is a career for you. I know some of you, your dads are police officers already. And I know other ones that maybe your parents work for the township or something like that. This is a great thing. This is a great cause. And we're going to give this to Officer Carey, and he will distribute these to you guys. We thank you guys so much for all that you did, and we wish you guys well. Thanks for coming so much, guys. Round of applause. Great job. Nice work. I don't know what's going on with your wrist, but I broke my wrist a couple years ago. You're going to be all right, I promise, all right? Officer Carey, appreciate it. Thank you. Here you go, guys. Give it up.
You guys can head on out.
Thank you, guys.
Great job, guys.
Take care, guys. Take care, guys.
No, I walked in like, wow, hot topics tonight. Yeah. Yeah, of course. No, we're good buddies, so.
Got different look at you. You're proud. All right. All right, that's it. We're done. Good. I know. It's so much to say something. Everybody's laughing at me. You guys stop. I hope those kids go home and read that proclamation. Because I never read it. Wish somebody would have given you a heads up. They didn't print it. The paper they gave me was blank. That's why I didn't blame that on somebody else. We have a presentation from a Joseph Petrangelo.
No one gets it right now.
No, but listen,
I'll just state exactly what you're doing.
anything to say.
Good evening, members. Joseph Petrangelo, professional planner with Remington and Vernick Engineers. We had the honor to assist the planning board with the preparation of your master plan re-examination. As you may or may not be aware, under municipal land use law, the planning board is required to re-examine your master plan every 10 years. Now, our master plan here in Pennsauken had not been re-examined since 1998. It created a concern regarding the zoning, which is one of the reasons why we made sure we had that master plan re-examined this year. Took care of the statutory requirements as outlined by the municipal land use law. And the plan was prepared in coordination with the planning board. It was adopted into planning board's July 27th. So the re-examination has been prepared and has been adopted. Under the land use law, as I said, every 10 years you're supposed to re-examine your master plan. There's no requirements for a new master plan to be prepared. That's a decision of the township. But you do need to relook at it every 10 years. And statutorily, the requirements are that we need to look at the goals and objectives of the current master plan, whether or not they're still viable, whether or not they should be changed, updated, or amended. We look at our ordinances, determine if there's any revisions or amendments that should be conducted in ordinances. We look at trends in housing. We look at compliance with state standards, county standards, etc. That's generally, in a nutshell, what the re-examines. Your master plan, that is your key planning document within your municipality. That sets up some land use, guidance, and standards for the approvals. Under the land use law, your planning board adopts a master plan. Governing body, committee, mayor committee, you enact the laws. So in theory, you should be enacting those laws in consistency with the master plan. You don't have to. Statute gives you the ability. You're the elected officials. Planning board isn't. You're the elected officials. You control law. And that's what it should be. If you're going to adopt a law that is not consistent with the master plan, you need to state why on the record. If you are going to adopt a law that's consistent, you don't have to do anything other than to say it's consistent with the master plan. Again, your master plan was originally prepared in 1971. It was re-examined in 82, 84, and 89. Excuse me, 82, 94, and 88. Sorry. And then we just re-adopted this year in a new re-exam. One of the recommendations is that we look at preparing a complete new and comprehensive master plan for Pennsauken. Since the original plan that we have is in effect today, we said that we still believe it's viable. However, there's been a lot of changes since '71. I think it's worth conducting a new comprehensive master plan. That's one of the recommendations. I'm not going to go through basically the backgrounds as outlined in the re-exam. What we do is we've evaluated, again, current goals and objectives, found them to still be viable. We've looked at the current master plan and the ordinances relative to the state plan, county's master plan, affordable housing, and stormwater controls and regulations, and you are consistent with those documents. The key part of any master plan reexamination is what we believe to be amendments or revisions that should be appropriate at this time in your ordinances. And we've outlined in here some specific recommendations that we think should be addressed. First one, as I stated already, is there's a recommendation to prepare a new comprehensive master plan. Its term plan, as I said, is from 71. The most recent re-exam prior to the 2021 one was from 98. So we think it would be worth doing the effort and preparing consideration. When we prepare a new master plan, there's many elements under the land use law that can be included. Housing element, recycling element, transportation elements, environmental elements, and all of these focus on specific points. So we think it's worth taking the time, and it's a process. It's a long process. It usually takes 1 to 2 years to do a master plan for a master plan. That's meant to be a long process. It will involve the public, involve meetings to discuss the coordination with some of your businesses and business leaders, with elected officials, and your planning. Take a hard look at your zoning, changes that have happened, the patterns, changes to roadways, changes to rules, and see what we do need to consider to reevaluate the community. One of the recommendations is to strengthen economic development, to basically continue to promote Pennsauken in a business-friendly community, and to conduct a marketing effort to present and promote Pennsauken. To develop a town center, take the Westfield Avenue Business District and make it a more, and improve it, make it more effective, meet the needs that are clearly outlined in the community, and establish a true town center environment. In 2016, Pennsauken reaffirmed their desire for smart growth, land use principles, and sustainable land use. We're recommending you continue with that and promote smart growth and promote sustainable design. Development regulations we concluded or adopted within the re-exam are to amend our ordinances to be consistent with the state's what's known as the RSIS, Residential Site Improvement Standards. The RSIS controls all residential development in New Jersey. It's a state standard, and we as a municipality don't have the ability to supersede RSIS. We do have the ability to give what's called de minimis exceptions, which are similar to waivers or variances in our land use laws. They then have to be sent up to the state for approval. So some of our ordinances are inconsistent with RSIS, and under RSIS, they are in effect determined to be invalid. So the idea is let's go through our ordinance and make sure we're consistent and make sure we're and the reason we do it in the ordinance as well as in the RSIS is that builder, developer, property owner, they're looking at our ordinances, they're not looking at the state. So having it in our ordinances makes it easier and beneficial for our residents. We're looking to improve our definitions, adding definitions as well as modifying them. As you know, things change over time. A lot of us used to refer to as a service station. It's no longer service stations. And now we have these super Wawas that have gas and convenience stores. Things that they need to be updated and changed over time. Currently, right now in our ordinance, we have one type of development submission package. Requirements are the same no matter what type of application coming in. We're recommending that you establish what's known as major and minor site plan subdivisions. And they are out there, It's outlined and permitted in the land use law. And what it does is that anybody who's coming in with a small application, a business that wants to make a small expansion, they shouldn't have to go through the burden of the full submission package like a brand new business would have to do. So the idea is let's create new standards for minor applications to make it easier for our businesses to expand. We want to improve the buffering requirements. Right now in our ordinance, there's requirements between commercial, professional districts, provide a buffer between those districts and residential. There is not one in our ordinance to require a buffer between industrial and residential. So it's our recommendation that we establish that. In other words, protect residents from the impact of industrial use. One of the clauses in our ordinance is that we re-examine the master plan every 6 years. So we're recommending that be revised in 10 years so it's consistent with the state statute. Looking at recommending to establish standards for 5G and smart technologies. What's happening now is, phones are transferring to 5Gs. These cell towers that we all had and had to deal with are going away. The 5G towers are smaller, but there's more of them. And the idea is that we need to establish standards for architecture. We want to see. If you're ahead of the game, which you are now, that's in a master plan. Once you establish your standards, these businesses need to comply with that. What it also does is promotes your community and that you're recognizing smart technologies that we have in the future. So you're setting up and improving your community for those things. Again, will help to bring business in. So we're going to be a progressive community that's preparing for these facilities. So that's our recommendation there. Also adopted as part of the master plan re-examination is medical marijuana and cannabis regulations. As you're aware, as tonight, for second reading, rules and requirements for cannabis use. The state has allowed recreational cannabis, and we also allow medical marijuana use. So the re-exam recommends that you establish appropriate standards for these uses within the C1, the limited industrial district, and the heavy industrial districts. And that is specifically a recommendation as outlined within our adopted re-exam. We also look to clarify for principal uses as to whether or not there is more than one principal use allowed or not. If there is, and there is some confusion there. You have standards for conditional uses in your ordinance, but you don't have conditions. So something's outlined in your ordinance now and says it's not a permitted use, it's a conditional use, but there's no conditions. We're saying we should add in conditions. Looking to update the bonding ordinance so that it's consistent with state standards. And rezoning areas that we're considering at this time are to look at upzone, which is making more dense. Some of the areas adjacent to the Pennsauken Transit Center, as well as some of the areas near the Route 73 and 36th Street Ryder Lane. The idea is to utilize transportation-oriented design within those areas to, again, smart growth guidelines that we already have, make for more dense areas, but less need for vehicular traffic, since you're going to be closer to these transportation hubs. And it will be consistent with and smart growth as well as sustainable. Currently within the municipality, there are lots that are split. So for some reason, the zoning line goes right down the middle of the lines. So we want to eliminate those. That would be beneficial to everybody that owns those properties. Very clear as to what they're allowed to do on those properties. We want to update our zoning maps so they're consistent with our zoning ordinances. And we want to improve waterfront development standards so that we should evaluate all the zones along the waterfront to determine suitable uses for those areas and what type of standards should be provided. And then finally look at Betsy Ross zoning area, so that currently there are areas in the vicinity of Betsy Ross Approach and 130 that are zoned residential. It would be more appropriate to zone those areas either C1 or C2. That's the recommended zone. One of the other standards is you need to indicate within your exam any potential for redevelopment. So, as you know, you're already aware you've adopted a resolution to deem this property along 130 Merchantville Avenue, Main Avenues as an area in need of redevelopment. There's some consideration to look at deeming the entire municipality in need of rehabilitation, and then to look at any future areas which may meet the criteria under the local housing and development law to satisfy development or rehabilitation standards. So again, finally, this was adopted. I do think your current master plan is still viable. We are recommending that you move forward to the exam. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I'm here for you tonight, so I can go much longer, but I don't think you want me to.
No, so we appreciate it and we understand. We started this process with you guys late last year. As a concern for the community, we want to make sure that we are up to speed on everything we're supposed to be up to speed on legally, or in regards to how it's supposed to be. And we also appreciate the fact that we'd like to optimize every section of town that we have for our residents. So that's the main goal. We appreciate it. I'm sure we're going to have some other discussions internally about doing the actual master plan. We are going to do it. We're not going to do it today, but we are going to do it.
Yeah, it's a long drawn out process.
Right. So this is our plan. We did this to get ourselves into compliance.
This was a huge thing.
Sure.
This
We
was very
didn't want to
big.
be out of compliance, but now that we have what you have, we're going to unfold it much deeper. We're going to look at the ordinances, how it pertains to all the different things. We're going to make sure everything jives the way it's supposed to jive, and we're going to make sure we set up each section the best. We get the most out of every section without ever impacting our residents in a negative way. It's important to all of us. These are discussions that we've had.
And I think that's very important. I think that's one of the things, frankly, that emanates through this document is exactly what you're doing. Is you're making it better, smoother, and easier for the residents, also improving businesses, and then you're going to be updating as well.
Businesses that can serve our existing community. That's a big thing for us. But thank you for your time. Does anybody have
I'll be
any
happy to answer
questions?
any questions. Well, it's just too easy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
allowing us to help you.
No, it's a big deal for us. We appreciate it. Okay, moving down the line. Ordinances for the second reading. Public may comment.
2021-13, ordinance amending the code of the Township of Pennsauken, Chapter 299, entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Things to do with handicap signs?
No comment from the public. Do I have a motion to close the floor? All in favor? Nay? Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
Roll call, please.
All right, Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts. Yes. Deputy Mayor Rafe.
Yes.
Mayor Kaczynski.
Yes.
2021-18, calendar year 2021 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, New Jersey statute that is 40A, 4-45.
Mayor committees establishing a cap bank increased the 2021 budget by 3.5% over last year.
Seeing no public comment, do I have a motion to close the floor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
I need a
Second.
roll call.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafe.
Yes.
Mayor Kaczynski.
Yes.
2021-19, an ordinance of the Township of Pennsauken, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 226, Parks and Playgrounds, of the Code of the Township of Pennsauken.
Mayor Committee, this is the amendment to prevent youth sports programs from monopolizing multiple athletic complexes.
See no one from the floor, do I have a motion to close the floor?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt. Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafe,
Yes.
Mayor DePatista.
Yes.
2021-21, an ordinance fixing the salaries to be paid to certain employees, certain officers and employees of the Township of Pennsauken, in the County of Camden, State of New Jersey.
Mayor Committee, this is our annual salary ordinance and adjustments for 2021.
I see no comments from the floor, do I have a motion to close the floor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt. Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Abstain.
Committeeman Martinez,
Abstain.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rafe,
Yes.
Mayor DePatista.
Yes.
2021-22, an ordinance amending Chapter 122, 141, and 277 of the Code of the Township of Pennsauken to implement provisions of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Enforcement Assistance and Marketplace Modernization Act.
Mayor Committee, this implements various provisions regarding the cannabis industry within the township.
Mayor and committee, if I may, this is actually our first ordinance that's being adopted pursuant to the reexamination that Mr. Petrangelo just talked about. If you recall, that was one of their recommendations, that the township pass an ordinance dealing with this. So we are doing this in compliance with the reexamination. And whenever you have a land use ordinance, it needs to go to the planning board for master plan consistency review. And this ordinance did between first reading and second reading. It went to the planning board, and I was told, I have a copy of the report, that the planning board determined that it is consistent with the master plan. So I wanted to put that on the record. I wanted to advise you.
Thank you, Linda.
You get. State your name and your address, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Diane Johnson, 1904 Wood Street, New York. I just asked for an explanation.
Sure.
This is our recreational cannabis ordinance. And under the law that was passed regarding recreational cannabis, all municipalities have until August 22nd of this month to decide if they want to opt in or opt out of the 6 classes of cannabis licenses. This is dealing with recreational cannabis. So under this ordinance, Pennsauken is opting into 3 of the 6 classes of licenses. They are opting into manufacturing, class 2, wholesale, class 3, and retail, class 5. They've decided to opt out of cultivation, which is class 1, distribution, which is class 4, and delivery service, which is class 6. And just so you know, a township cannot prevent delivery through their towns, but they can prevent a delivery service. So there can still be delivered through the towns. The Pennsauken has decided to limit it to only certain districts. They're limiting manufacturing and wholesaling to the LI and HI districts only. So that's it, nowhere else. The retail is being limited to C1, LI, and HI, and that's it. It's not going to be allowed anywhere near Route 130. The township committee made the decision to keep away from the Route 130 corridor. And there's also a lot of buffering protections in this ordinance. It has to be 1,000 feet from schools, public or private, daycare centers, behavioral health centers, detoxification centers, residential. It has to be at least 350 feet from certain residential districts, 500 feet from churches, houses of worship, public parks, playgrounds. So a lot of consideration really went into this ordinance, quite frankly, and the township needed to decide where should it be? And it really is very restricted where it should be within the township. Also, there needs to be licensing from the state, and Pennsauken is also going to have its own local license. So this is going to be very highly regulated by both the state and the township. So even if you get a state license, you got to comply with what Pennsauken says with the local license. Now, that's kind of it in a nutshell. There's also no on-site consumption. And it's tax as well. There's a tax.
Okay. Do we have a motion to close the floor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? Okay. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Dukakis.
Yes.
2021-23, an ordinance establishing golf membership rates, green fees, and golf cart rentals for the Pennsauken Township Club, municipal utility for the 2021-2022.
Mayor, Committee, this is adjusting golf rates for at the Pennsauken Township.
It says seeking public comment. We have a motion to close the floor.
Make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? We have a motion to adopt. Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Dukakis.
Yes. Okay. Ordinances for the first reading, no public comment.
2021-24, an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Pennsauken, Chapter 299, entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
And Mayor, Committee, this is for additional handicap sign.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Dukakis.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor Raffay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Resolutions, public may comment. Bond resolutions will be considered individually.
2021-208A, resolution authorizing the 2021 garbage district budget to be read by title only. This is the second reading.
Seeing no comment, we have a motion to adopt.
Make a motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay.
Yes.
Mayor Dukakis.
Yes.
2021-209A, resolution introducing the 2021 Pennsauken Township municipal budget by title. This falls in the second reading.
See no public comment, do I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Dukakis.
Yes. Resolutions, public may comment. The following resolutions will be considered individually.
2021-221, resolution authorizing notice to South Jersey Sanitation to not extend solid waste and recyclable materials collection service contract.
And Mayor, Committee, this is our formal notice to South Jersey Sanitation / Seaside Waste that we will not be extending their trash contract.
Good shot. Okay. And, we have a motion to adopt.
So.
Second?
We have a second, third, and everything. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Dukakis.
Yes.
2021-222, A resolution of the Township Committee of the Township of Pennsauken authorizing the issuance of a public bid for solid waste and recyclable materials collection services.
Mayor and committee, this is us putting out the bid for a new trash company, and this bid would be opened up in mid-October.
We have a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Di Baptista.
Yes.
2021-223, resolution authorizing a settlement.
Mayor and committee, this is authorizing settlement regarding copyright infringement.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Di Baptista.
Yes. Resolutions, public may comment. The following resolutions will be considered by consent agenda.
2021-224, resolution for unpaid municipal charges, for example, but not limited to grass cutting, cleanup, and board up. Establish a final billing, impose municipal assessments, enforce through tax sale, and impose municipal liens. I'm sorry, I'm going to do this by.
I'll do it at the end. You can run through them.
Thank you.
And I'll figure it out.
2021-225, resolution of the Township of Pennsauken, authorizing the issuance of a raffle license and waiving fees associated with it to friends of the Pennsauken Free Public Library. And 221-226, a resolution approving refund of $800 for street opening, escrow to JFK Plumbing Incorporated for street opening at 4439 Terrace Avenue.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver,
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez,
Yes.
Committeewoman Roberts,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Raffay,
Yes.
Mayor Di Baptista.
Yes, next up, we have one of our most favorite times during this meeting. We hang out with our dear friend Larry Cardinal, Economic Development. Larry, if you would please, give us a rundown of what we have here. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Committee, Administrator. Good.
You got a fan club out
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I have two real specific items to bring before you tonight. First one is 4926 Westfield Avenue. And it's a snack store, which you're facing the Rite Aid. It would be 2 doors down to your left, the Rite Aid, right next to the Rite Aid. Also, ice cream, sweet, salty snacks. So 950 square foot building, property. And, but there's no off-street parking other than the Rite Aid. They'll be open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m., 8 p.m. Two shifts, 2 employees. And, it's based on, it's a Mexican type of dessert store. Ice cream, not good ice cream, popsicles, ice cream bowls, and sweet and salty snacks.
So, we always care about parking, so this isn't an eat-in place,
No.
it's a takeout, so we're not concerned that there's going to be 30 cars lined up to go in there. This is, you got it, and you got it out. Okay.
There is this like the one on Battlefield, next to Mama's. It was there, I got like a sweet shop thing.
Yeah, but it's a Latin place. It's,
Okay. So it's more
yeah,
like-
I checked out one, and I went online and checked some of their, I asked them for examples. It was pretty much as I described.
Okay.
Any questions? I'm okay with it. It's similar to all the other stores that are on that strip as well. A lot of it is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The next one is the Old Venture McDonald property, the level 1 barber shop, or first,
5921.
yeah, right down from the 7-Eleven. That one, it closed about 30 days ago. And the store next to it, which was a beauty supply, they just want to expand another 1,700 square feet. And it would be no different other than they'll just have more space. So no new employees, the hours will be the same, just the same husband and wife. I guess I anticipate the need have more space.
Okay, this is the place between Monte Grollo's and 7-Eleven.
Correct.
So they're gonna take the place to the right or to the left?
Facing it would be to the right.
Okay, so they take that in the corner spot. Okay,
So they're basically bringing the wall down.
Correct, yeah. That's
Yes,
right.
okay.
Exactly.
that sounds great. So
And
we're gonna do it.
just to be clear, the folks who came up to the cigar store, they're not doing that, that's not happening there. That was that same strip, right? That was.
It's in the same strip, yeah, I'm not sure, I think it's the same space, but, no, it's not the same space.
All right.
But, yeah, they actually recently requested their deposit back from the zoning officer.
But these guys, any questions to these guys? I think it sounds pretty good to have this doing so well there. I know I need to hear.
This,
We'll get the public comment. We'll have a chance, I promise.
so I did have one, it said items for discussion, first of all, I have to apologize. I made a faulty decision on that. I got word after it was sent out for the agenda, that there's an alteration on their site. What happened is the site that we had talked about before, with, I think, the deputy mayor and mayor kind of see it. It was over where the hotel was going to be there on 130. The old, there used to be a fish store over there as well. Well, supposedly it got sold out to Monday. That's what I was told. It was sold out to Monday. There's no way to corroborate it until I hear back from the county that when they do the change of owners. So meanwhile, I put it on the agenda, and almost a few hours later, I got an email from the guy, and he says, "Oh, by the way, here's the property." And it's actually a TD Bank parking space, which is about half the size of what was originally presented to us. And on top of that, they didn't have any public buy-in and all that other good stuff that you required or requested. So I told them, I said, I'll let the committee know that you have a different proposal, but I'm sure they would want you to come back, just like we did before with the mayor and deputy administrator, and have them present it. So again, I apologize for that, but I figured I had the audio tonight to share, but it won't happen in the future. That's where we stand with it. So they're ruminating somewhere around. I
You're still
understand.
looking to lane somewhere in town.
Yeah.
Yeah. That got pulled out from under.
Yeah. So when I have more, I will communicate it to everyone. All right, thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. All right, so that brings us to our public comment. Do you have any comments from anybody in the public? It's 5 minutes limit to speak. We need your name and your address. Step right up.
Diane McCarry, 1012 June Road. Larry has a tough job, as we know. Now, the only comment I have is that the beauty supply is doing so well that they're extending their space. But 2 months ago at zoning, we had a resident and a lot of complaints about the cleanliness of the rear of the property. Signage is not appealing. So I just want to make those comments with the infrastructure, changes in ordinances are coming around. The sign ordinance, I was there, it was 2 times 70 square feet that they were allowed in the building. It appears that they're way over, but I won't swear to that. So I just want you to be aware in general, we get the gist.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it. We'll have the.
We have a construction official here, is writing it
So we'll go take a walk over there and see what's happening. We'll make sure that they're good tenants in the township.
Well, only because I wanted you to know that a resident also was the person that came in and she was not a happy person. So, and I know they all really know me. Thank you very much.
Your name and your address.
My name is Jamil Sadiq. I live 6407 Western Avenue. I was a member of the zoning board of the city of Canton for 10 years. My concerns is a lot of things in this town that I do not like. Number one, we got a guy at 441 Garden Avenue that's 8 chickens. He had started before, 9's up to 8. I went to, Tony and told him, hey, you got it on. Now, this is in May. Now we're in August. The guy has still got the chickens. Nobody's been up to. And,
What was the address again?
well, she got it because.
Oh, Amy got it?
Yeah, she got it, I gave it to her.
Amy got it.
Okay, secondly, gas station on Browning Road, old gas station, that's deployed. It's been abandoned. It's just sitting, it's an eyesore. Nobody's going, there's a bar right there also. I'm talking about.
Where was it again?
Right there on Browning Road, right
Oh,
there,
by the field?
by the field home, that place there is a shed, you know?
There is a.
Larry bought it.
No, you bought it, no, no, right now, there's an investigation to check how much dirt is on there.
I know.
Two pages.
Okay. Thirdly, the neighborhood now has got a lot of commercial trucks that are now, don't, as, tags passing. And now I got these contractors that move in my section and trucks on both sides of the street, and they got passenger tags and not commercial.
Which street are you on, sir?
I'm on Walton Avenue, you got a garden, they went there, and Bixby Royal, they're all in there, all contractors. Then,
You got all that? How much?
Yeah.
He's
100 block of walk, so we can follow up on that. We'll check. What block of walk, what's the address on walk? Just give me any.
well, I live 6407, so
So 6400.
you start with me, I'll be waiting.
We just want a location, we're looking for.
Okay, now, I was on zone board of Canton for 10 years. I see a lot of houses that they have fence vegetation up against the house. Sometimes you can't even see the house. Now, in Camden, what we did was, we made people take it down because the fire department would have trouble trying to get into the house to put out a fire. So I see people don't know to cut trees and all. Secondly, I got your article, and I'm with you. These landscapers come into town. They cut the grass and they blow it on the street. Then, when it rains, I got puddles down there. Now, I would suggest like they're doing most of that. Anybody that is landscaper, they gotta register with the township. Because you got mom and papa, they're in operation, but they're not professional. My landscaper, he bags everything and put it at the curb. I read your article, and I agree with you. The landscapers gotta be more controlled. You got some guys don't even have, they don't even have the name on the truck. You don't know who they are. I'm an exterminator. I go to Hatfield, I gotta have my sign on the car that I'm an exterminator. So we don't got guys that, you know, they just do what they want to do, and we're lax with it. Right? No. Influx of dogs now with no tax. The 2 dogs they float, but they running around. Nobody knows whose dog they are. And I don't know if we got a dog catcher in here or not. But I need to know.
Dogs on loose, I think can be scooped up, on it, something to look into. In your area, we're always, the police, our police chief is writing down this right now. He's gonna send an officer out to your area if they see a dog, and a dog on the loose is to always be picked up.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Any officer.
I got the raccoon from it.
Don't come. We get calls about dogs all the time.
All right. Lastly,
Segue from the raccoon. I'll come at you. I have one come at you.
I've been 58 years of raccoons. In fact, next door to me, the guy got 3 of them in his attic now. But he doesn't. He's so cheap, he won't pay me.
We got about 1 more minute, Star.
I'm good. All right. But anyway, like I'm saying, the last thing is, there's been some robberies. Trucks. I told you guys, there's somebody breaking But now, they know all these contractors with these tools, and they come in there. I got chemical in my room, not chemical. But I got a broken one, so it's okay. He couldn't even in here. Some of the guys know, they were guys who know what they're doing.
All right, so we'll take a look at that area as well, even if they don't give us a call, our police chief will have them, we'll put somebody
Yes, sir.
in your area. But I appreciate you, hey, and I appreciate your service, thank you for all your help for our country.
Yeah, and also,
Thank you so much, sir. Any other public comment?
And good evening again, Diane Johnson, 1904 40th Street. So he mentioned a couple of things, same thing for me. Just so everybody's getting their grass cut and all you going in the street. The other one, people with their dogs, just letting them out, trapping, not cleaning up. We don't intentions clean. And then the third one, I don't know if you're I mean, stumps are
Stumps are bad.
very bad.
Yeah.
Right. And do you have any in a place that people need to get stuff in the trash can? Because that's half the problem. Just trash out any kind of way.
Trash is a very fluid topic right now. There's
I
never
know,
come a time where
right,
maybe you have a
exactly.
can in front of your house that does close. We'll see, we're working on trash, but yeah, it's a problem. Unfortunately, right now, we can't make people put a lid on something, but, you know, we do require it to be closed up.
I did call about one neighbor, looked like it got better. But people are just throwing bags out, you know, any other kind of way.
Yeah.
And that's helping with some things.
What we'll do is, we'll get together with, Joseph Booth, our public works guy, and we'll see if we can come up with a plan. Help.
Right now, the number that they have to put in plastic bags,
Yes,
but not.
thank you. Any other public comments? Sure.
I had a problem with my tree rings on that. Alright. I had to cut down, I trimmed it, everything. My next door neighbor, his tree root is now breaking up my driveway. So, when the guy came to do mine, I said, what are you gonna do about that? He said, well, $500 and I'll take care of it. I said, okay, go ahead and do it. I said, I'll talk to Paul. He comes home. He comes home, I said, Paul. He said, what they do to mine? I said, look, your tree is on my property, just dig it up. My property. I had to get it fixed. All right. I got mine. Everything's done. Like this happened May the 3rd. His sidewalk is still there. He got a rack ramp, so people got to walk around. He's probably there because he's too cheap to get it fixed.
Give the address to Mr. Woodman. And I'll take
You got a lot of talk in that area.
All right, here we go. This is who's next. Next up.
Diane Patarich and 12 June. I just want to comment, the letter said it was an extended letter. I read it in the program Pennsauken. It was very good on trash and debris, which is, a big thing. The newest thing, in case anybody hasn't noticed, and I've seen it in other townships, they throw large black trash bags out on the road. They throw their lunch bags. When I come out of my area of town, where I live, Union 130, there's a barrier there, and they love to throw the bags there. And if they tie it up real tight, we can't do anything about that, but just so you know how big it is, it must be, I don't know, is it the new age? Just like the state just cleaned it out under the bridge, the overpass, okay? Cleaned it out, all nice, cut it. Now, you see, orange black trash bags, lunch bags. So, just aware, I just wanted to say the article was very good, and just keep on trying, you know I will. Also, I think that's about it. I don't want to keep everybody. It's been a long day. I read the articles about the cameras, the police and everything.
Yes. Police are watching, they could be watching this right now.
They could be, but I won't ask any more questions now.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion to close the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public comments closed. Next up is committee comments. I'm going to start us off here. First, I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Most of you haven't come because you work here. We asked you to come with everybody who doesn't work here. We appreciate you guys coming here, and you girls, sharing and everything you have to say. Honestly, it does mean a lot to us. We're trying hard for every decision that we make, and we want people to understand, and we want the feedback from everybody in the town. So thank you for taking the time to come here tonight. I do want to talk very briefly just about a few topics. COVID still going on. I know we're in a much better place than we were a few months back, even with the vaccine out, people get vaccinated. But we understand now that there are some different things happening with this disease, this virus, and we just want people to be cognizant. We ask everybody to continue to be safe, wash your hands, and make some smart decisions, because it's a big deal. You know, I had the honor, or Pennsauken had the honor on Sunday to have Governor Murphy come into our town. And he didn't come in with a big brigade of cameras and lights. He came in to talk to the First Spanish Baptist Church, the first Spanish church in Cayman County. The reason he came to speak with these people was because they lost 30 people of their congregation to COVID. He came there to talk to us about the importance of getting vaccinated. And I will reiterate his sentiment. Please, if you know anybody who's not vaccinated, talk to them. Try to encourage them. We don't want to tell people to do something they're not comfortable with doing, but we want to help stop the spread of this terrible virus. So it was nice to see the governor gave our town some attention, gave that the people of their church that attention. It was nice for us to have that happen. So let's stay on that. On a positive note, National Night Out happened Tuesday, I believe it was, and it really is a celebration of our police, fire, should I say EMS? I don't know, police, fire, EMS. Right, Joe, might not say EMS too. What these groups did was basically open their arms to our community, invited them in to come and just say hello and introduce themselves to our community, provided them something everybody loves, which is free ice cream, pretzels and waffles, and they got to spray some hoses and take pictures with the police officers and all of our fire department. It was an awesome event. It was a great showing of what I believe this township really is about. It's about community. You know, when we were out there, I had somebody actually from one of the people from Murphy's campaign actually showed up to the National Night Out. At the end of the night, I ran into a gentleman, and he even commented on how diverse our town is, and to see how well everybody is getting along in such a great event. So I want to commend our police, fire, and EMS for putting that event together and extending that to our community. To me, that's what Pennsauken is all about. With that, I'm going to pass on public comments to our Deputy Mayor, Rabbit.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for being here. As well, thank you to the residents for coming in and letting us know your concerns. We're here to help you guys, and we represent you. So whatever concerns you have, you come in. You're not taking our time. This is part of our job. So thank you. Hoping that we can fix those problems someday. I can't put a time on it, but we will definitely do our job. But yeah, exactly. As well as what the mayor said, Tuesday was an awesome event, the National Night Out. A lot of residents showed up, and you guys did an amazing job. So kudos to the first responders. You did an amazing job. And we have a couple events coming up. We have the 9/11 flag placing event. It will be on September 10th at 11:45 p.m. And we're also looking to hold a special ceremony that Saturday, 9/11. So more to come as we find out more information. But for sure, September 10th at 11:45, we're going to be putting flags for the 9/11. And we have another one, a car show, September 19th, from 11 to 4, and that's at Pennsauken on Maple Ave. There's gonna be food trucks, activities for kids, music, so please stop by. And that's it. Thank you all for being here.
Next up, any more comments?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. And I want to say also that you have expressed anything happy to hear for you or happy to hear what we can do to help you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. And there is one more Lemonade for Change fundraiser. And it's this Sunday. It's free right up here at the library. Drive through, just come through with me. They've done really well. I think they're looking forward to this next one being really good for us. So I think that's about it. I'd like to say congratulations to the first responder also for the National Night Out. But you guys do an excellent job. That was great for our community. And that's it. Everybody stay safe.
And Vivian Martinez.
First, I want to say thanks to the residents for your comments. Shows the commitment to this. I appreciate that. Second, I want to thank the fire, police, and EMS for Tuesday. Kids had a lot of fun out there. It was a great event. Also, I'd like to thank all the cadets. Very seeing that left. Thank you, Chief, for putting this program together. That program is so big. That program is so big. You know, investments in this town. Kids are going to need to be, we want to be police officers, firefighters, EMS, or even better people for this town. So I want to thank you. Oh, yeah, one more thing. The Pennsauken Environmental Commission has a meeting cleanup August 29th. You can go on their Facebook, they have a flyer on there. I always invite you to go on there, take a look at their protocols, even message them because they do that time. You do have slots that once they fill up, they will take it to their volunteers. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Oliver.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Like the rest of the committee said, I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate that. If you saw eyes open, we'll definitely be out there checking it out. On Tuesday, we went to the National Night Out as well. And it was fun. Putting the kids to bed after all that sugar was not fun. It was a blast. And I want to apologize to the sports society. I missed the hot dog doing the same time, but I promise to make more of that. I'd also like to thank Public Works. They picked up the slack of Southern Sanitation July 17th. They used 18 manpower hours from the trash and yard crew that wasn't picked up. I also want to thank the residents in the affected areas. Thank you. And also Lemonade for Change. I've been putting it all up. I put the wrong one, but I put it up. Get your lemonade and get it to drive-through. No flights or walk-ups, right? Make sure things like it says on you. Sure, these should be in your movie.
Skateboard?
No skateboard.
All right.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, so, where are we gonna go from here? Resolutions, public make comment? We're not closing the floor here for any comments. We're gonna do, resolutions, public make comment. Bond resolutions will be considered individually. I'm sorry.
That's okay. 2021-227, resolution authorizing the closed session of the Township Committee, Township of Pennsauken, to discuss matters of attorney-client privilege, contracts, and litigation, and we will be coming back to public.
Action will be taken
Yes.
while in closed session.
Yes, it will be. We have a motion to adopt.
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Oliver?
Yes.
Committeeman Martinez?
Yes.
Committee Woman Roberts.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rapids.
Yes.
Mayor Di Baptista.
Yes. All right, so we're going to now go into closed session. So our meeting is over. We are going to discuss some stuff. We're probably going to make a decision when we come out in regards to what's in 30 minutes on what we're doing. It's not a secret, I promise. And but I want to thank you guys all for coming out tonight. We got every police in Pennsauken is on Bolt map right now.
One is saying you can.
Thank
Okay. Okay.
I mean, since it's being live streamed, and we said we're coming out.
Yeah. Gotcha, okay.
But we can registration part of that. So we don't cover
No, she said I got checked. It was, I want to say Pam. Yeah, I think the second woman.
So we're gonna pause it while they're doing this.
Okay.
And then once the close the closed session.
So apparently, we're gonna leave this on here, you're gonna have to stop it, and then when we come back in. Or you guys are telling me, sorry.
Yep.
Good.